Well, I'm happy to talk to you guys about new tools. First, let's review. Familiar with the tanker truck analogy? Yeah, of course. So in Feel Great, we transition people from using the small tank, which is glucose, blood sugar, always going up and down, kind of make you feel crappy, to using the big tank, the stored fat, so we can have a nice, smooth feeling and feel great and do things that were otherwise hard. Now, as we burn the stored fat, we drop some of that dead weight. We also drop our visceral fat, insulin, blood glucose, just feel better and solve a whole cascade of other inflammation and other problems. Leaner, more efficient, less stress on the whole system. Now, we could drive this truck around for a long time. It would look weird, maybe. Hard to park, I guess. We're going to carry this analogy as far as it'll take us, by the way. But that was just step one. That was changing the fuel source. Step two, we want to upgrade the vehicle. So it's not just about aesthetics. It does look better, but what we want is stronger structure, more muscle, better handling, coordination and balance, more powerful engine, our strength and endurance. This is really important. This is not just looks. This is your life. This is my life. Because once we're born, aging starts. Everybody's aging. By the age of 30, the muscles stop listening for that signal to grow. By the age of 40, we're losing 3 to 8% of our muscle mass every decade. So there's two futures that all of us have. These are MRIs from people in their 70s. They might look the same on the outside, but on the inside, totally different. One is full of muscles, and the other one has a little bit of muscle in there, but not much. How do they feel different? Well, one, it says this is a triathlete in their 70s, and I'm something of a triathlete myself. I had this experience burned into my memory forever. I was doing Ironman in New Zealand. I hadn't trained very well, did my best. I was like 10 hours in. I had a couple hours more to go, like another 10 miles to run. So I'm running alongside Lake Taupo in New Zealand and just suffering. Legs jello, feel terrible. Feel like I'm 100 years old. And I hear from behind me some people sneaking up, getting closer and closer. They're going pretty fast. And then I notice they're having like a pleasant conversation. They're like talking about their grandchildren and like how so-and-so. And they go past me and they're like, hey, don't give up. You got this. And I'm just destroyed. They're two ladies in their 70s. And I thought, okay, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I don't just want to be, strong and fit and everything. I want to absolutely embarrass people in their 30s. So, what if I told you that there was a way to 5 times increase the muscle mTOR activation signal to have muscle mass gain, fat loss lost, visible muscle fiber growth in just 8 weeks? And this is all validated in Dr. Bickman's lab because we want to build and maintain that muscle mass throughout our life. We want to keep what we have. Stronger bones, that's part of lean mass, and that's an important part. And glucose disposal. Muscle is the biggest glucose sink, so we kind of buffer those changes in blood sugar by having more of it. And I think you know, but this is the product we built to help with this, StrongHold. So we want to overcome that anabolic resistance. We want to get the signal to the muscles to grow and maintain strength that doesn't fade. As you may know, the protocol for this product is with meals, after workouts, anytime your muscles are primed to grow. So you can combine it with balance with a meal to have just a mega upscale the meal in quality. Okay, so we're still driving this analogy. We've got the more powerful engine. It's just roaring. You can almost hear the sound. But then I think well, I've never had a 12-cylinder car, but that's a lot of cylinders. I'm going to be buying all kinds of spark plugs, right? But don't worry. I got on Temu, and I found a great deal. So I'm going to be saving money. Is this smart? No, this is dumb, because it doesn't matter how good the engine is, how good the structure, everything, if the signal doesn't transmit. Because you are an electrical machine. Every cell in your body maintains an electrical field that is, for its size, as strong as a bolt of lightning. And that voltage difference between inside the cell and outside is everything. Without it, the cells collapse and die, nerves don't fire, muscles don't contract, nothing works. In fact, maintaining this electrical field takes 30% of your resting energy, 70% in the brain. Like, we spend a lot to maintain this electrical field. And how does it work? It's minerals. So cells use energy, a magnesium-bound ATP, to forcibly pump sodium out of the cell and potassium into the cell against their gradients to maintain this voltage. So this is like the spark plug that allows everything to rapidly fire. The problem is, this is a picture of me and my family back in Wyoming. The problem is, our ancestors were consuming 4 times more potassium than we are, 3 times more magnesium, because modern farming strips the soil of the minerals, and food processing takes it out because it doesn't taste good and shelf life problems. So we're getting way less of the minerals that we need. Second problem, circulation. It doesn't matter how much minerals you have if they can't get to the cell. So cells need oxygen, nutrients, waste removed. At just 2% level of dehydration, the blood volume drops, circulation slows, slower delivery of minerals, cells become functionally deficient, and we have a 30% cognition drop. At the same time as we're aging, by the age of 40, nitric oxide, which is the signal that tells your cells, your blood vessels to open up, has dropped by over 50% naturally. So what's happening? Chronically low minerals, poor circulation, your body's going into the power save mode. Neurons fire with weaker signals, low quality transmission, muscles don't contract as well, you can't maintain. Magnesium is so essential that your body is never going to let that drop. So your body will leach the magnesium from your bones in order to maintain the serum levels, which weakens your bones over months and years. Then you have, brain fog, weakness, poor coordination. A lot of times we don't feel like exercising. We don't want to exercise. We just don't feel like it. Sometimes that's because the body is prioritizing survival. It's putting you in this feeling of lethargy and fatigue to make you save energy because it doesn't have what it needs to feel great. So we've developed a tool to help with this. This is Signal. I really like this. This is my favorite. There's actually two systems in here. One is the mineral system, so you got the magnesium, a really good source and a high dose of magnesium to load the ATP pump. You've got the sodium and potassium to create that gradient, some calcium to trigger the contraction, and then a little bit of zinc to protect the cells. And then also we have the circulation system. So citrulline, a really big dose of citrulline to have sustained nitric oxide production in the body. And then just to be safe, we put in a backup system, so beetroot nitrates, to have another direct source of nitric oxide. And it tastes great too. So what it feels like is that 30 to 60 minutes after drinking this, mental clarity's up, better performance, circulation. Over time, 60 to 90 days gets better and better. Full recovery, if you're super mineral depleted, could take 4 to 6 months. But this is like replacing those gunky, cheap spark plugs with the good ones. How to use it? In the morning, you're dehydrated from your overnight fast, so drink it in the morning with a bunch of water. And then during the day, anytime you're working out, during fasting windows, we tested this extensively with continuous glucose monitors to make sure it's good for fasting. for hot days or intense activity whenever you're sweating, it's really good. So in hindsight, maybe we should have had it yesterday at the Spartan. Some of us did, sorry. So, like fasting, exercise is hard. We want to use these tools to make it easier and to keep more of the benefits from it. So StrongHold, build the structure, overcome the anabolic resistance, maintain muscle, signal, turn on the lights, restore the cellular voltage, deliver oxygen and nutrients, and the practice is exercise. So 2 products, 1 practice. Super excited to see how you use these products. I want to thank you, and we're still working. We got new stuff coming. Thank you.